What is going on, everybody? What's going on? Happy Monday. Got some Monday Night Football tonight. Seahawks Giants. Kind of impromptu. Didn't plan on really doing this, but has to be done. Obviously, yesterday, and there's not really because of how the game played out yesterday. There's still not many words to put together how bad and abysmal that performance was. You can describe it in many different ways. But the biggest outcome of that has been the discussion in this fan base about Arthur Smith and Desmond Ridder. And their times here potentially being numbered, especially Desmond Ridder. And even Arthur Smith has popped up into that conversation too. Desmond Ridder has made 8 NFL starts, and Arthur Smith has coached, I want to say, a grand scheme of now 38 NFL regular season games. So when you're keeping that into account, you have to understand, obviously, Arthur Smith, he's just entering his 3rd year. Ridder is just entering his 2nd year. But this is where I think the issue comes into play for me. First of all, Arthur Smith has proven that he has an identity. He has something that he loves to do. And it is what works best for this team. It is how we win football games. Running the football, wearing defenses down, putting a Tyler Algier in the backfield and wearing a defense down up the middle for 4 quarters. It's called physical football. The Falcons have one of the best run blocking O-lines. So you can talk about the pass blocking O-line all you want. Yeah, they are very shitty in pass blocking. They gave up what? We haven't even talked about the offensive line at all. They gave up another 4 sacks yesterday. Ridder's been sacked 16 times on the season through 4 games. He's been sacked 4 times a game. You can't be having that. I'm sorry. I don't. And this isn't even necessarily defending Desmond Ridder. This is making the point that if you have an NFL quarterback, you can't be letting them get hit 16 times. Well, sacked 16 times. That's not even accounting for all the QB hits in 4 games. No one would survive behind that. Patrick Mahomes wouldn't survive behind that. Josh Allen wouldn't survive behind that. Tom Brady wouldn't survive behind that. So, regardless of who you are to have behind center, that's something that, okay, you have to change. But also you have to keep an account that this is a team that runs the football, and that is what we should be doing. We drafted Bijan Robinson at number 8 as a running back. And obviously, Bijan has no doubt been the highlight of this team through the first 4 games. He had a big part to do in that win versus Green Bay. You saw him in his very first game versus Carolina, and you saw him yesterday. The dude is explosive. The dude is electric. When he has the ball in his hands, and especially if you're in the bins and Bijan Robinson has the ball in his hands, you know what I'm talking about. It's a different electricity and energy that you feel. But also, I made this point yesterday. I made this point on Wolves, and I made it on my stream yesterday. Shout out to Wolf, by the way. You can't wear this young man out. You can't. We drafted this guy at number 8. You want him to last as long as he possibly can. You want to at least see him last 7, 8 years, maybe even more. So when you're starting to now rely on him to win you these games, when you're giving him the ball 25, 30 times a game, you're going to wear his ass out. By year 3, year 4, he's going to be done. He's not going to be able to go anymore. And what makes Bijan so special is his elusiveness, is the way that he moves. It's him being able to juke people out. Bijan gets one major injury to that lower body, he's done. What's up, awesomeness? But you do run the football. You have Tyler Algier. That is why he is still he should be such a big part, because he is probably your most valuable player. Because he is your bread and butter. Arthur Smith's offense, in my honest opinion, predicates off of everything Tyler Algier is able to do. Because then that sets up Bijan to be your home run hitter. That's able to set up the play action. We are reaching, see, the issue with these first 4 games, in particular these last 2, is we're talking about we want to be a more balanced offense. And everyone was harping about the fact, Desmond Ridder only had, 115 yards passing week 1. He only had 18 pass attempts. You can honestly argue that's definitely the best Desmond Ridder has looked all season. And that's maybe the best the Falcons have looked all season, is week 1. Because we stuck with the run game. Tyler Algier ate in that game. He got the football in his hands. He was able to do damage to Carolina up the middle. That allowed Bijan to be able to do his damage. I understand Bijan had a great game versus Green Bay. Listen, not every single game. You don't want to wear Tyler Algier out either. You want to have a balance between these two. Ideally, both of them, or I would probably say Tyler Algier is leading you in carries. Well, obviously, all your yards are coming from Bijan, but Tyler Algier is leading you in carries, but both of them are getting around anywhere from in Bijan's case, I'd probably say 13 to 17 carries a game is where you need to keep it at. Maybe a few games a year, okay, you can try to push it to 20 or more. But you need to keep him around 13 to 17. Tyler Algier, probably, I would say, around 20 to maybe even 22 on a basis is a good number, because you also have the Joker. Now, I understand, CP, you really want him for after the bye if we are in a position to make a playoff push and we get this stuff together. But you have him as well. A running back, and here's the thing with that, even though a running back is very easy to find. You can find a running back anywhere. Yeah, at least we ain't 0-4. I mean, y'all got no place to say anything to us. But, man, y'all listen. Carolina, y'all are going to – Bryce is taking his growing pains. Y'all are going to – I think y'all are going to get better. But, man, y'all do suck. I was not expecting y'all to start 0-4. I'll say that. And I don't think anyone was expecting Tampa Bay to be leading this division. But, as I was saying – you have everything that happens in the running game is going to carry over to how the rest of this offense operates. It all starts off with the running game, and the balance is going to come naturally. Desmond Ridder, I would probably say, because let's see, Desmond Ridder, he passed what? He had 31 pass attempts yesterday. That's not even accounting for all the sacks, and well, he stepped back and to throw what? Of nearly 40 times yesterday. Well, shit, our play calling might not be much of any better, man. So, but yeah, man, I mean, Frank Reich's a former NFL head coach. He should be able to. And I mean, you got to this is, I think, the Panthers and Falcons, I think what we can agree on is we have to put our quarterbacks in good positions. Now, y'all don't necessarily, at least with Frank Reich, y'all had it with Wilkes, y'all don't necessarily have that run-first philosophy like you did with Steve Wilkes at the end of last year. We're supposed to have a run-first philosophy that can set up the rest of this offense. We don't have that right now because we're not really running the football as much as we should. Bijan got, 14 carries yesterday? I'd say that's an all right amount. And he got, for what Bijan Robinson got yesterday, because how many times did he get the ball through the air? Like 4 or 5 times. That's pushing it a little bit. As I said, I think 15 to 17, I know 13, 17. 15 to 17 touches a game for Bijan, in my opinion, overall is a healthy amount to sustain him as long as you possibly can. And everything else is going to come. We're trying to reach for a balance that is not there right now. It isn't. You want to, and I understand you want to save your running game for the playoffs. Your running game can operate at any time because it's only going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. You're going to continue to, and as these defenses get worn down later in the season, it's a long season. See, that is why we need to be taking care of business right now, because our defense is going to wear down. Yes, we might be rotating guys in and out in that front seven, but I guarantee you, Jesse Bates out there making a play every single game so far, that ain't going to be the case after the bye week. That ain't going to be the case week 13. That defense is going to be worn out. So that's when Arthur Smith is going to, he better get in a rhythm now with run, and then sprinkle in a little bit of play action, little screen here and there. Because, man, when I tell you, if Arthur Smith is the offensive genius, this is not hard stuff. This is simple stuff, especially for an offensive-minded head coach. Yeah, I mean, and Tampa Bay, they look the best. They looked shaky here and there. I'll tell you what, I think at this rate, whoever comes out this division, I probably wouldn't say they won in the playoffs. I mean, a lot can change now. A lot can definitely change. But man, it's what's up, BR. A lot can change, but it ain't looking good for really much of anyone right now except the Buccaneers. The Saints want Carmichael gone. We want Desmond Ridder benched. We're talking about firing Arthur Smith. There's some Panthers fans ready to give up on Bryce Young. But I will also say this. Your leash with Arthur Smith is this season. If we don't at the very least find a way to have a winning record, he needs to be let go. There's an argument there, because look what he did his first 2 seasons, 7-10, with a bunch of grocery baggers, basically. A bunch of dudes off the street. And look what he was able to do with it. So, if he can't get at least a winning record, and I'd probably say 9 wins, because you still face Tampa Bay twice. I would probably say at this very moment in time, if you can get your shit together, you can split with New Orleans, split with Tampa Bay. You might have a chance to sweep Carolina. So that would be 4-2 in the division. Obviously, still a long way to go. But if you can get your shit together sooner or later, and we can get back on track, then okay. I'm not ready to give up on Bryce, but Frank Reich is already pissing me off. Look, man. I mean, that's Arthur Smith is pissing me off. But the thing is, the difference between Frank Reich and Arthur Smith, their first years with our respective teams, Arthur Smith was a first-time NFL head coach. Frank Reich's been to the playoffs twice with Indianapolis. So the way I look at it is kind of different circumstance, because Frank Reich, he should be able to go in there and really know what he's doing with. And obviously he hasn't worked with a Bryce Young, or really, because Bryce Young obviously is a different kind of animal, but with his height and everything. But man, you should still, as a head coach, you've now been a head coach for multiple teams. You should understand how to work this thing out. No head coach has 3 straight losing seasons and gets a 4th year with a 4th starting quarterback need at least 9 wins. I agree. I think you have. And now let's look at it. If you can get your shit, this is what I'm saying. You have to get your shit together. If you can get your stuff together, then okay. You can probably be on the path to 9 or 10 wins, and that's probably 9 wins is good enough for the division. I think we see that. I will probably say Tampa Bay falls off a little bit. What's up, Clay Melton? Ritter can't complete a pass over 20 yards. Smith's play calling is limited because of Ritter. Smith won't be fired this season. He'll be on the hot seat next season. That could very well be the case. Desmond Ritter has had, from my understanding, what I can remember at this current second, I missed the division when Carolina, Atlanta, and New Orleans battling with great quarterbacks. Yeah, those were the good old days, but man, all of us are kind of, we were spoiled. This is another thing I'm going to talk about too that I kept saying yesterday. But about this comment right here, shout out to all the support. Ritter can't complete a pass over 20 yards. Well, from what I can remember, Desmond Ritter has had 2 deep ball completions in his career. The first one being in what's going on, Jerry? The first one being in the fourth quarter, week 18 last year against Tampa Bay when they had all those scrubs playing. And week 2 versus Matt Collins, that single-handedly shifted momentum of that game over to our side and propelled us to winning it. But that's all I can remember, really, of Desmond Ritter completing a deep ball. Here's one thing that I think is an issue. The Falcons do not have a quarterback coach. I think is a big issue. We have Dave Ragone. You're talking about the Dave Ragone we picked straight up from the Chicago Bears. Team who's never had a franchise quarterback. That's the offensive coordinator that's not calling the plays. Arthur Smith is calling the plays. Another thing I'll say, too. Everyone's talking about Arthur Smith needs to give up play calling. And in any other case, I would probably honestly agree with you. But you think Dave Ragone would do any better? I don't think so. Arthur Smith, even though it ain't very pretty right now, if he can get his head out of his ass, this offense can be serviceable. If you have a serviceable offense and a good defense, I think that's enough to win the division. Cam Newton, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan. Yeah, those were the good old days. But listen, we've been spoiled at quarterback, especially the Falcons. We've been spoiled at quarterback too damn long, with the exception of 1 year. 20 years between Michael Vick and Matt Ryan. Now you're realizing, oh, crap, we don't have a quarterback. We don't know if he's going to be on the team next season. Maybe we want him bitched. Who knows? What do we want to do with Desmond Ritter at quarterback? But that is the reality. All good things must come to an end. Even the quarterback, you being able to have a sustainable quarterback for 15, 20 years, you don't get a Brett Favre to an Aaron Rodgers every day. You don't. Most teams, to be completely honest, Cam Newton, we don't know what Bryce Young's going to be, but Cam Newton, he might be the best thing the Panthers have seen in a minute. Drew Brees, no doubt New Orleans isn't getting a quarterback like that in a minute. And we probably won't see another Matt Ryan for a minute. Even if Ritter is to turn it around. And the ideal vision for me with Desmond Ritter is something like what Brock Purdy, they're doing in San Francisco with Brock Purdy. And I know Brock Purdy had an amazing game yesterday. Brock Purdy ain't lost a game yet. But the 49ers have a great team around Brock Purdy. That might be one of the only situations Brock Purdy can be successful in, if we're being completely honest. The Matt Ryan haters are now seeing what they took for granted. Yeah, exactly. You don't realize what the fuck you have until it ain't here anymore. Oh, you don't realize how shiny that gold was until it's gone, and then you rub your eyes and then you see it's all fucking pitch black. Where the fuck is the light at the end of the tunnel? My team needs to fire Pete Carmichael. Yeah, I see you and Noah and all y'all are talking about that shit, man. Part of me, I kind of hope y'all keep him because he makes y'all suck. But yeah, I think we're in very similar boats, Jerry. Yeah. No, I mean they're leading passers. Matt Ryan, Cam Newton have won league MVPs. Drew Brees won a Super Bowl MVP. That's pretty much as best as you could possibly get. Obviously, Cam Was he the best passer? No, not necessarily. Even though he showed his flashes, Matt Ryan is, you can honestly argue, Matt Ryan is one of the top 10 statistical quarterbacks in NFL history. Drew Brees is a future first ballot Hall of Famer. I think Matt's a future Hall of Famer as well. The Falcons have legit defense. Falcons have weapons on offense. They just don't have a captain. Falcons need to seriously consider a trade for a quarterback. Here's the thing about this trade for a quarterback thing. This is the thing about that. Do y'all realize that that's really not happened much, where you actually see a franchise quarterback? Like, everyone's talking about Kirk Cousins. Minnesota ain't trading Kirk Cousins in the season. Now, I think this is the final year of his contract. Kirk Cousins be gone from Minnesota next year? Definitely. Justin Jefferson might want out. You see superstar receivers, superstar corners, they get traded mid-season. But your franchise quarterback is something different. You don't want to mess with that really at all, unless you absolutely have to. There are not going to be many teams that would be willing to do that. Well, let me tell you this. Calais Campbell is that. Grady Jarrett is that for the Falcons. Those are your two leaders in the locker room. And that picture of Drake London where he was sitting on the sideline, and I mean, it was soulless and motionless. He had no emotion. It was a blank stare of confusion, and he don't know what the hell just happened. He needed a talk after the game. And I hope, even though they play different sides of the ball, a Grady Jarrett or especially a Calais Campbell, who is, regardless of if he gets a Super Bowl ring or not, might be a future first ballot Hall of Famer, then at the end of the day, that is a guy you need to go. And you really need, this is what I fear with this. I fear that the locker room is slipping away. But what gives me peace at mind is knowing that Calais Campbell is on this team. As much as I love Grady, I don't even know how much Grady can do. When guys look at a Calais Campbell, former Walter Payton Man of the Year, they look at the guy and they say he's a future Hall of Famer. And he's been in these situations. He's been on some good teams with the Arizona Cardinals. He was on that Jacksonville defense. So he was on the Ravens, and we know about the culture they have up in Baltimore. So when you look at that from that perspective, that is what gives me peace at mind. But really much of anything else, I fear that this locker room is going to start slipping away. But about Ridder, I really honestly think Desmond Ridder, one of the big issues, he's not putting enough air onto these balls when he needs to. And that, honestly, that contributes into your quarterback coach. We don't have that here. We don't have a reliable quarterback coach. That is what you need for a young quarterback. And here's the interesting thing. Matt Schaub, who was Matt Ryan's backup for, 5-6 years? He's right. He's a consultant for us. Why not just make him the quarterback coach? Ridder could learn a whole lot from Matt Schaub. I guarantee you. Not only was he here in Atlanta, he was a starter in Houston. He has experience. So I would say, honestly, plug a Matt Schaub in as quarterback coach. Get him working with Ridder. Get him working with Ridder on how to step into those throws. Let's see. That's why I say Ridder needs to be done. None of the pass catchers believe in him. I believe another performance like the previous 2 weeks, Smith will make a change. We'll listen. I will say this on one hand, the fact that they're even talking about Desmond Ridder will remain the starting quarterback shows, yeah, there's someone is pushing the narrative in that locker room that a change needs to be made or might be made. But on the other hand, did y'all see him 13 games of Marcus Mariota? If he held off this long, because y'all know why he was doing it. He was hoping Ridder would develop. He's going to give Ridder the whole season unless A, he gets injured, or B, It is absolutely catastrophic. And I mean, Desmond Ridder starts going out and he starts having 20% completion percentages and throwing 4 or 5 interceptions on some out straight up beyond Jimmy Clausen shit. If Ridder continues to go out and put up subpar performances where, okay, he does the little things. Yeah, he might make the big mistake and do the stupid shit from time to time. But overall, he's putting up 50, 60% completion percentage. He's getting the whole year as the starter because that is the guy Arthur Smith signed his name to. Ridder has as many touchdowns to the other team's defense as he's thrown to players in the last 2 games. Think about that. Yeah, that's absolute. That's a shame. The fact that the Falcons, and here's another interesting thing. The Falcons are averaging 15.5 points a game on offense through the first 4 weeks. That's 62 points. 49 of those 62 points came in our first 2 weeks at home. On the road, we have scored 13 points. Jacksonville had more points than that total at halftime. Now, granted, our defense the past 2 weeks has let up 13 points in the second half, but our offense has only scored 13 points total these last 2 games. Our offense. I mean, that's absolutely absurd to think about that you can't get the running game going. That is why we're having this conversation. So what is my leash on Arthur Smith and Desmond Ridder? Personally, for Arthur Smith, I do think you give him the rest of this season. I think because one way or another, first thing, he is going to get another year. He is going to start 2024 as the Falcons head coach. Now, Desmond Ridder, I want to believe in the kid. I want to believe that he'll turn it around. I want to believe this lights a fire under his ass because we're going to see how he responds. He's going to get a lot of hostility thrown towards him this Sunday in the bins, especially he starts making mistakes. He starts missing guys. He's not putting enough air on the ball. He's making those stupid throws that turn into interceptions. Oh, yeah. He is going to face the heat from those fans. But we're going to see how he responds. These players are on social media. They're listening to us right now. So with that being said, we're going to see how Desmond Ridder responds. And we're going to see if, because we're talking about it, adversity. All right, this is it. This Sunday, you're at home. You haven't lost a home game yet. That's probably the one thing you have going for you. You're protecting the bins so far. And that is what we love to see. We're not going to let these other teams come in here and get the win. CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans, we look at that game completely different over here than we did a month ago. He will be booed off the field if he does that on Sunday. Oh, yeah, he will. Yes, he will, without a shadow of a doubt. Me and Noah had talked in his live stream a month ago. Since the Saints and the Falcons are off in Week 11, we gotta have a nice round table before. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Absolutely. We can communicate with Noah. I can communicate with him. We'll talk about it as we get closer to that day. And I'll be at that game too. I'll be at that game too. The Saints game always, it's the most important game for either of us. Ridder was a project when we drafted him. He needed to sit behind a good veteran quarterback for 2 to 3 years. Well, let me tell you, Marcus Mariota wasn't it. Mariota sure wasn't it. Can you say maybe would he have done better sent by Matt Ryan? Yes. He definitely could have, but who knows? Because we don't know what that alternate reality looks like. But at the end of the day, I think what we have to realize is that, and my leash for Desmond Ridder, I'm going to say it. I need to see Desmond Ridder bounce back sooner rather than later. Let's see. This Sunday versus Houston, Week 5, Week 6, Week 7, Week 8, Week 9. That leash is currently at 5. You know what? I'm feeling a little bit generous. I'll give Desmond Ridder till the bye week because we gave Mariota till the bye week last year. Our bye week is week 11, as Jerry just said. I'll give Desmond Ridder to the bye week. I want to see him turn it around. And even though I'm really thinking he's getting the rest of the year, and as long as he's out there, I'm going to root for him to succeed because I want to see my team succeed. This team, since we're really looking, since we play y'all in Atlanta, we can do it on your – that's fine. That's perfectly fine with me. We can do it however. I don't care whose channel it's on. We can go promote it, do what we need to do. We'll figure it all out. I went back and watched some tape, and he should have thrown 7 more interceptions this season. Damn. Because there were a lot of them that were dropping. Damn, you're talking about this dude should have 10 interceptions. So we're talking about some Jameis Winston shit. He should have 10 interceptions. Damn. That's tough, but that is probably the truth. Ridder has thrown some bad balls. So I'm going to give him, let's see, week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8, week 9, week 10. 6 more games. I want to see improvement out of Desmond Ridder. I really want to see it sooner rather than later. Man, listen, y'all ain't winning versus the Lions, man. Anything can happen. But y'all can win versus the Lions. Y'all can't do that. Y'all can't win versus Detroit. Y'all aren't going up there and beating that team. That team is on a different level. See, I wasn't as mad about losing to Detroit because I understand they're a tough damn football team. MCDC is the truth. But Jacksonville, they ain't a physical team like that. I'm telling y'all. Yeah, they might have looked more physical than us because we let them be. They couldn't get Travis Etienne going much. Calvin Ridley had that one big play that what's up, Spider? Yeah, hey, I'm going to be getting, I'm going to have to get with him. Stephen Rose, if you're watching, we can get together. We can do something. Your channel, my channel, it doesn't matter. If you're down to it this week for the Texans, man, Y'all are a tough one for us. We have to bounce back this week, and y'all are no scrubs like we thought y'all were. This is going to be a tough game to win. CJ Stroud is the truth. I mean, man, y'all talking about Carolina, y'all honestly probably should have picked CJ Stroud, but hindsight's 2020, I guess. But man, Houston, y'all are putting something nice together over there. That's an insult to Jameis Winston. Well, man, listen, it's the truth. Jameis Winston had a 30 for 30 season. And maybe you're implying Desmond Ridder should have the same thing. Jacksonville had 14 points off turnovers. Yep. Sure. Well, wait a minute. Was it? Definitely 7. I really want to say they had at least 10 off of turnovers, I want to say. Something like that. But the bottom line is turnovers has been killing us these last few weeks. So my leash on Arthur Smith, okay, rest of the season, y'all should start Heineke. Man, listen, I think when you're thinking, you can say you want, I'm not going to disagree with you necessarily or even argue with you saying we should start Heineke because everyone at this point, each their own. At this point. Yeah, Iquanu, I've been hearing he's supposed to be that your solid piece on that old line for the next decade, and I'm hearing he ain't been doing so well. So, but I'll say this, I think if y'all start Andy Dalton, y'all probably win that game yesterday. That's really why I picked y'all, which, by the way, I think you've taken first place now because I took a lot of gambles this week with picks, and they didn't play out in my favor, so got to get back to the drawing board. But anyways, let's see. NFL makes the first schedule flex change of the season. Let's see. Bucks, Lions, 4:25 Eastern, Week 6. A little bit of breaking news on that end. But, man, I'm telling y'all, this is everyone can reach each their own at this point. If you say Heineke needs to start, okay, that's your opinion. To me, I say you got to give Desmond Ridder. I need to see a few more weeks because I am the type that I really want to be hopeful this man can turn it around for himself. And if he can just get in a rhythm of being a proper game manager and not messing up, we're going to be all right. But if he keeps messing up, but it all starts with coaching at the same time. It all starts with coaching. And Arthur Smith, you have to fix something, man. Because if you don't, Ritter's going to continue to look lackluster and subpar. And guess what? Eventually, that's going to fall back on you. So, yeah, I'm going to give you the rest of the year. But, man, you better get it together sooner rather than later. How many quarterbacks in the league would make this team hard to beat with its weapons? Man, but here's a question I got for you, Clay Melton. How many quarterbacks could succeed with how Arthur Smith has called this offense the past 2 weeks? Receivers literally running into that. The route design has been absolutely awful. Let's make that very clear. The route design has been absolutely awful. And another thing. Kyle Pitts, he's not even our number one tight end. That's Jonnu Smith. And by the way, they confirmed what I had suspected. That man ain't 100%. What are they talking about? He's 80, 85%. That means he could have very well been 70% week one. That man is not 100%. And it's time y'all realize that. The only reason he's really honestly playing right now is because it's year 3. Next year, we're making the decision about his 5th-year option. Now, I'm going to say this straight up. I would not be shocked if Kyle Pitts is not on this team next year at this rate. I hope I am wrong. I really do. I hope we can turn it around. I hope we can get the man involved. I hope we can get Drake London more involved. And we can find that balance. Because, man, I'm telling you, it ain't sunshine and rainbows in that locker room today. It's not. There's probably, and they might be trying to keep Ridder composed, but you really honestly think that when they're all alone, what do you think they're thinking? At this rate, they're probably thinking, man, Kyle Pitts might very well be thinking, man, just get me out of here. They're not even using me right. Because we're trying, but see, here's the other thing, too, that we have to keep into account. Kyle Pitts might really have just checked out of this thing. He really might have. Because when you think about it, Jonnu Smith with all this production, you see them lining Kyle Pitts out wide a lot. So, and they even see him in the slot, which we heard when he was coming out of the draft a few years ago. You can line him up anywhere on the field. Kyle Pitts, I heard, could really have honestly been a joker for us, with us lining him up in the X position, in the slot, on the outside. I could put his ass in the backfield. That's what I heard. That he's supposed to be a joker, that no matter where you put him, it's an automatic mismatch because of his size and his speed. And there are very few corners that can keep up with him. And not many linebackers can keep up with his speed. That's what I heard. So far, Kyle Pitts, how many catches did he have yesterday? 2 or 3? That's a unicorn? I don't think so. I think that unicorn might have a couple injured legs, if you're asking me. And man, I mean, here's another thing too. We were talking about Drake London on that bench. There's one thing I'm going to get on Ridder on. He was sitting on that bench, and it looked like he had a blank stare in his face, like he didn't know what the fuck to think. You're supposed to be the leader of the team. Well, okay, maybe I can understand why they didn't put a C on your chest. Because you should be up as the quarterback, as the general of the offense, consulting one of the soldiers. Your ass is just sitting there like you don't know what the hell is happening. I can tell you, man, his confidence is not at full strength right now. That confidence is dashed at this moment. But Arthur Smith, you want to keep him as quarterback. And listen, I don't want to have a quarterback controversy. I don't. I'm all for growth, but it's not one thing. He stares down receivers. That is a big issue, especially on that throw to London. He was just staring Drake London down. He didn't even let Drake London make his cut. He just threw it straight, and the defender was just sitting right on it. He's late on every throw. He can't read the field. He actually regressed. I can't fault Smith. He's had 2 terrible quarterbacks. Oh, so you're saying that we basically have a scrub at quarterback, is what we're saying. You're done with Ritter, is what you're saying. Smith college place based on the fact that Ritter can't complete that. Ritter, is that what you're trying to say? Ritter, you don't even want to pronounce this man's name right. Can't complete a pass over 20 yards. Oh, calls plays. I don't know. Is this a new question? Is Desmond Ritter compromising Arthur Smith's offense? Has he regressed? I think one of the big issues is still, though, you don't have a quarterback coach for him. You have to get this man a quarterback coach, because this man, one way or another, has to have that mentor that has been in the position as him, that is telling him to step into those throws. All we're hearing, Desmond Ritter, he's spending time in the film room. He's getting better. He's jacked up. He's in the weight room. But can you read a defense out there? Are you even letting your receivers make cuts? Is that how rattled you are because you're scared? You're scared if you sit back there, which, listen, that 3rd and 1, which we should have absolutely have ran it on. That's what I'm talking about. You have to set your quarterback up in a proper position. Even with that, we're talking about Desmond Ritter, this and that. Here's the thing. That still doesn't negate the fact that Arthur Smith needs to be running the piss out of that football, like he literally did all last year. We won those games last year because he ran the football. The reason why we lost the 2 games is because we're trying to put it in the hands of Desmond Ritter. Is not a superstar quarterback. It's time to realize that. But I don't want to completely run the man. Now, if the man runs himself, yeah, okay, then you move off of him. You go back to the drawing board. We're already talking about Drake May, Caleb Williams, bringing in Heineke, Shador. Listen, man, I will say this. We still have 13 games left to play. And it's a long time before we can talk about that. But you have to set your quarterback up in the right position. But Desmond Ritter, someone has to be there with him, mentoring him. This guy, you can tell, is still very rough around the edges. And if you don't develop him properly and give him that proper support, then you're going to ruin him. There's going to be no chance. But what they are going off of, and I'm going to tell you all this, they got him in the 3rd round, so it's really they didn't take much of a risk. So even if he doesn't do well, that's what they can sell to Mr. Blank. All right, going to bring, let's see, is this CPG?
Maybe.
What's up,
man?
Might
be. What's up?
What's up, man? So what do you want to talk about?
I just think it's going to be a long season, man.
For both of us, or you?
Possibly everybody but Tampa.
So you think everyone but Tampa is getting ready to...
Which I think is ridiculous, because...
Did you just hear me that they flexed that game between Tampa Bay and Detroit to 425?
Yeah.
That's going to be the game of the week in a few weeks.
I still think Baker will show his true colors at some point.
I think he will too, but man, we still face them twice.
But the difference with Baker and Ritter and Carr and Young is that the Bucks have a supporting cast around Baker. Baker doesn't have to be that good.
Let me stop you right there. Who's to say the Falcons don't have at least some supporting cast around Ritter?
You have to stay committed to the run game, though.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You have been saying this all day. I've been saying this for weeks. The run sets up the pass. Isn't that basic football 101?
Meanwhile, when we do run it, for some reason, Frank Reich's stupid ass wants to take Miles Sanders' little ass and run him in between the tackles every play.
Running back.
Yeah, Chuba Hubbard needs to be running the ball, man.
Yeah,
even Laviska Shenault, they claimed all training camp. Oh, we're going to use him like Deebo Samuel.
He's supposed to be y'all's joker.
We've barely even used him.
Damn. I mean,
I'm tired of these coaches lying to us every year, man.
Man, I feel it. I do. And the thing I said, you know who Wolf is, right?
Wolf?
Yeah.
Not off the top of my head, no.
I'll send the link to you, man. I definitely say go check him out. They got, you know who Black Cat Panther podcast is and all them?
I've heard of them.
They go over there. They were trying to talk shit to us as y'all's games was starting yesterday. They ain't telling them, man, y'all need to worry about y'all's own team, especially when they playing. But man, y'all could have won that game yesterday.
I put a little bit of it on Bryce. If he hadn't fumbled the ball, we had the game.
I'd be okay with putting Bijan in the
Bryce got to hold on to the ball. This ain't the SEC. They're going to try to knock it out every time, dude.
Oh, hell yeah. And his little ass, I mean, that if y'all started Dalton this week, y'all probably win.
You don't trade up number one to get a quarterback and
I understand
not play him.
But I don't, was Bryce even 100%? I don't think he was. I mean, he was getting there, but which no one is going to be 100% at the end of the year.
Most of the play calling was like behind the line of scrimmage, screen pass type shit. I was like, you let Andy Dalton throw it all over the field. Let Bryce do the same thing, man.
But from what I'm hearing, man, the Saints got play calling issues. Y'all got play calling issues. We got play calling issues. I guess Tampa Bay.
All you got to do.
Running
all you got to do for us is just look at Bryce's pass chart and look at how many of them were screens.
Oh, dude,
or how many of the passes were like 3-4 yard completions.
Yeah, and then when you were trying to hit over the middle week one, Jesse Bates, because Bryce isn't. There's a lot of things that went into that, but Bryce isn't tall enough to see that.
Well, that makes me wonder if Reich is just scared that Bryce isn't going to see something over the middle. Which
because of what happened week one.
I'd rather you let Bryce take chances and learn from him.
That's honestly, in a way, how I feel about Ritter. But the other thing is, man, we got weapons. We're in a better position to win than y'all. And we have an offense.
You have Pitts and Bijan. You should be doing better than that.
Man, I'm saying Pitts, I don't know if he's going to be here next year. The dude ain't 100%. That's what I'm going to go ahead and say. And I knew he wasn't 100%.
Our defense has been the only thing keeping us in games. And that's with half of our fucking DBs being injured right now.
Same here, man. And I never thought I'd be saying that our defense was keeping the score respectable.
Brian Burns doesn't deserve all this fucking money he wants, though. Where the fuck was he at Sunday? The one play he was involved in on, Yetur Gross-Matos was the one that got to the quarterback first. I said, damn, I'll be damned. YGM had a better game than Brian Burns.
So do you think Bryce Young could benefit from like a DJ Moore right about now?
Yeah, I don't know what they're waiting on. You need to be getting him some help right now.
Man, they were talking about y'all are in the trade market for a receiver. And y'all talk about y'all are going to get T. Higgins.
We don't have a a first round pick. So what are we waiting on? What are we waiting on? Go get a receiver. There's a bunch of receivers frustrated around the league right now. Go get one of them.
Dude, if y'all go 4-13.
Just not Chase Claypool. I don't want his lazy ass.
If y'all go 4-13, man, that how big, and obviously you have to do what you have to do to get who you think is your guy.
We're not going to hear the end of it from Bears fans either.
You would be missing straight up. You would be missing out so much on Marvin Harrison Jr.
It's just funny how basically we all lost Cam, Drew, and Matt around the same time, and we're all just struggling so fucking hard to get it right now.
Cam, it's like it went in order. Cam went first, Drew went the next year, and Matt went last.
And we're all just offensively can't figure it out to save our lives.
Yeah, and
we have an offensive head coach.
We do too.
It's pitiful, man. We really should have hired Steve Wilkes at this point.
Someone's made a claim against you, bro.
Oh, Brandon Rodgers with that stupid shit. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's man, I'm telling you. It's
that game against the Seahawks was embarrassing. We had like 8 or 9 false starts.
Oh, yeah, those fans, listen, those 12s don't play. Here's the ironic thing, though. You know, Seattle's the last road game we've won in Seattle. Ain't won a road game in a year. Over a year now.
At this point, I don't remember the last time we won a home game.
I think it was against Detroit last year.
That was probably it, yeah.
And then before that, I think it was that Thursday.
The game after the bye week when we play Houston, I'll be there. And the way C.J. Stroud's been playing, we might lose.
Yeah, y'all are. Listen, that's going to be a tough one.
When everybody says we should have picked C.J., I don't think that C.J., Anthony Richardson, or Bryce were going to do good now in hindsight with this offense.
Some of them are talking about they wanted AR-15.
I don't even think he would have done good with this offensive line and these receivers. Our tight ends suck.
Well, here's the thing. Or would you have put the read option in there for him?
I don't know that Frank Reich would have. Frank Reich needs to let our offensive coordinator call the plays at this point because Frank Reich is coaching the game like he's scared to lose.
I don't want to see the offensive coordinator.
I don't know if you saw it, but I tweeted on Sunday. It looks like Frank does not coach them at all during the week. It's like they came out and it's a continuation of the Sunday before.
So they're not having an excellent week of practice.
Yeah, when they say that, I don't believe that because you need to be going over everything you fucked up on that week in practice.
They need
on top of your game plan for the team you're playing.
Cousins would put up 30 a game with these players, but it's all about scheme. Kirk Cousins didn't have a game yesterday, did he?
We picked off Kirk Cousins twice and still lost.
6. Wasn't that the worst franchise's history?
Yep, that was the longest interception return for a touchdown in Carolina history.
Yeah, and as that shit was happening, they were. Man, this is when I tell you what, this is
the defense won us the game, and the offense gave it away.
I told Noah this. I said we can't let Tampa Bay win this thing 3 straight years, and especially without Brady and with. Now I'll say this about Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's that quarterback that. To be honest with you, Baker Mayfield at his very ceiling can be like a Kirk Cousins. So where if you put weapons around him, then, yeah, he can make it work. But if you put Baker like in a situation he was in with y'all last year where it was either incompetent coaching or he just didn't really have much of even producing.
Even his last year or so with Cleveland.
Yeah. Then he ain't going to do good. It all depends on the situation. Do you realistically think if Patrick Mahomes went to say, that's why everyone's talking about, oh, if Mahomes went to the Bears will be. How the hell do you know that?
I think Andy Reid is a big part of why Mahomes is so
Oh,
good.
hell yeah. Exactly. And I think Joe Burrow, what's going on with Cincinnati this year? They got all these receivers. Joe Burrow got the back.
Joe Burrow doesn't need to be playing injured. Hey, take a page out of Cam's book. Cam even admitted I shouldn't have played hurt. That's what fucked his career up.
That might be what's fucking Kyle Pitts up right now because he's playing hurt.
That's why when Bryce got hurt, I said, please don't let him play. I already saw this happen one time with a quarterback. Don't do that.
And man, Bryce can't afford to take those hits.
Yeah, he's like half the size of Cam. Cam is a big ass fucking man.
Cam Newton is like a fucking truck, and Bryce Young's like a little fucking mini ass Volkswagen.
The first time I saw Cam at the practice field, I was like, oh my God, that dude is fucking huge.
It's like you're standing next to a fucking defensive lineman.
Not only was he tall as shit, he was muscular as fuck.
Cam Newton is actually larger than Vic Beasley, right?
He's a big ass dude. Yeah, he carried I remember that play against y'all. Not to bring up bad memories, but I remember where he carried 3 or 4 Falcons on his back, literally.
When was that?
It might have been the same game that I don't know if it was Dion or somebody popped him in the head and gave him a concussion. It might have been that same year.
Oh, it was the Super Bowl year.
The year that you guys went to the Super Bowl, maybe?
Yeah, because that was the year after you guys went. Fans don't understand how hard a good quarterback is to find. Kept telling Falcons fans to be careful what you ask for. Yep. Because as far as the Falcons, Panthers, and Saints, and a lot of these other teams go, look at Miami. Maybe they finally found the answer with Tua after, 25 years? That's boring. Tua gets hurt.
And that took Tua a couple of years, really, too.
I'll say one thing. I'm obviously, other than the fact Tua went to Alabama, I'm glad to see he's doing well because he's a left-handed quarterback. Shout out to all the lefties.
I was worried all those concussions were going to end his career prematurely.
Oh, they probably should have. I'm shocked his fucking mama and daddy didn't step in and say, boy, your ass is done playing this.
That's why Luke Kuechly retired, man. Those concussions will fuck you up later in life.
Yeah. They'll make you fucking go like Chris Benoit.
I don't know if you've ever had a concussion, but man, I have.
I got one when I got in a car wreck a few years ago.
I had one at work in 2019, and to this day, I don't remember how the fuck I got home. I drove home, and apparently people at work let me drive home, concussed.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, I'm lucky I didn't die, man.
Oh, hell yeah. Dude, we're fucking riding in the car, and it's day before Father's Day a few years ago. And I was on here at the time. And I mean, I don't remember the crash or anything. I just remember fucking waking up and
yep, that's how you know ground. That's how you know you got a concussion. You don't remember shit till you wake up the next day and you're like, how the fuck did I get here?
When I woke up and I was like on the ground and being helped up by
a
woman. And here's the thing where I mean it's be thankful for the man above, people. Be thankful. If it weren't for there was a basketball literally that we took. If it weren't for that, because that literally the car was totaled, it was done. And I mean it flipped 2.5 times. It was upside down, and man, that basketball literally held the roof up. If the roof came crashing down, done. That's it. So count your blessings.
Hey, nobody's promised tomorrow, man. But those brain injuries are nothing to joke about. I've noticed a lot of cognitive issues with me personally since that last since I got that concussion in 2019. I've probably had more before that, but that one was kind of bad because I used to be really articulate, and my memory was so good I could tell you details from years ago. I can't even remember what I said 5 minutes ago anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I can still remember stuff that happened years ago, but still, I think it's these. That's why you have to be careful with what you're getting yourself into. It's like you count your blessings because you don't know if tomorrow is guaranteed. You don't know if you wake up what's in store for you that day. All you know is what you're doing in the moment. But which is why I mean, we better be thankful we're here talking about football. Now we need our fucking teams to. Well, we need y'all to suck, and we need us to be able to get this shit back on track and get back to the first 2 weeks.
I just hope we win a game at this point, man.
What do y'all think y'all's first win is going to be?
I don't know. I just keep telling myself any given Sunday, we're going to be spoilers for somebody eventually.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Y'all are going to win a few games. Y'all might win. Let's see. Y'all face Chicago in Chicago.
Yeah, that's possible because Justin Fields is, besides playing Denver, whose defense is terrible, he's looked terrible this year.
Oh, yeah. And let's see. Y'all still face the Saints. Y'all still face us in Charlotte.
I'm worried about playing the Dolphins. I think they're going to fuck us up, man.
What'd you say?
I think the Dolphins are going to fuck us up.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think as I said, and I think Detroit can fuck y'all up too.
We played Detroit in the preseason, and it didn't look good then. So
y'all very well. Let's see. Y'all have Houston, and y'all go on y'all's bye early, and then y'all have Houston, Indy, Chicago, and then
we have some winnable games after the bye week, but going into it, it's going to be rough.
I'll probably say I could see Frank Reich in this first one versus foreign team.
Did they put Richardson in concussion protocol again?
What, he was put in concussion protocol again?
That's what I'm saying. I heard somebody say that on Twitter. I just don't know if that's true or not.
Man, I'm telling you what, that dude is. He keeps he's trying to make these plays like, bro, you're gonna get.
He reminds me of Cam Newton in that regard. He's trying to be the hero, and make a play where there is no play.
Oh, he's definitely built like Cam. There's no denying that.
I mean, like the way he's playing, he's trying to make plays where there's not a play, and he's gonna get fucked up like Cam did doing that.
Yeah, because I mean,
sometimes you just have to move on to the next possession, man.
Yeah. Just live but then again, there's that saying, play every down like it's your last.
I would just love for the division to not be dog shit. I mean, I really don't care if all y'all, like, from a division hate standpoint, but this division's been pitiful for a few years now.
I mean, look, it's one thing if it's, like, good defensive, because after years of the NFC South being an offensive division, isn't it kind of time we get back to defensive roots?
There's a lot of good defense in this division right now, though. But the offenses are horrible.
Man, I'll say this. How you feeling about these playoffs, man?
What to quote Jim Mora, playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
I know. I'm asking you about these playoffs, not about football, but
the Braves?
Yeah.
Man, the way Acuna's been playing, I'll be disappointed if we don't win the World Series.
Well, here's the thing, man. I think we no doubt should win the World Series. And here's something I like they're doing. They're doing up at Truist these simulated games where they're letting fans in and everything to keep them in the groove of being in that game day mode and what it feels like. Because at the end of the day, but man, I mean, the Marlins and Phillies, I mean, who would you rather face?
Probably Miami.
Miami, yes, you'd love to get your revenge on Philadelphia. Miami, though, would probably be the easier opponent.
The Phillies like to upset us sometimes.
Oh, the Phillies. Listen, the Phillies worry me more than Los Angeles.
Yeah. We saw what happened last year.
Yeah, and I mean, that's. But then again, I think that one way or another, I just think, man, the Braves, we were too focused on playing the Mets at the end of the year for the division rather than just going on another run. Because, see, in 2021, we were just worried about getting in and we were fighting for the season. It was like we were
balling out this year, though.
Arthur Smith needs to give up the play calling, man. I've been saying it for 2 years now. Well, I'm going to ask you this. Do you want Dave Ragone calling plays? I do not like Arthur Smith's play calling right now. I think when Arthur Smith is calling good plays and gets his head out of his ass, then the offense will run all right. But at the end of the day, I don't think you want to. I think overall Arthur Smith is a better play caller than Dave Ragone. Yeah, the Phillies you can't stand them.
I can say
he don't know how to use the talent he has. Honestly, think Logan. Oh, you're on the Woodside train.
I personally think that the Panthers, Saints, and Falcons, we've all moved on from like really good periods in our franchises, and I think that these we all have a lot of young guys now.
Well,
and I feel like somebody's got to fire them up, man. Especially us. Somebody needs to be like, listen, we sick of this shit.
Needs to go in there and be like Sam Mills.
Step up and do your fucking job, man.
You need a Sam Mills is what you're saying.
I'm tired of the excuses. Don't come out and say, well, we got to get better. Just do it. Stop saying it.
I heard Arthur Smith say that shit today. I'm like, I've heard this shit before. I wonder from who.
We haven't made the playoffs since 2017. I'm tired of this, man.
I think you were talking about the Saints, Panthers, and Falcons have all moved on from good stretches. I think New Orleans has the worst future. That's me personally. I think Orleans
their cap has been fucked up for years too.
And I think the Panthers and Falcons, those are two teams that when you look at it, you say, because I mean, especially us, we haven't been good in years, and it finally looks like we might be building something plausible. And I'm going to tell you what, I don't know if there's a team that the Panthers are trying to, you can say maybe Carolina, this is where they want to get to, one of the premier teams. The Falcons are really trying to be like the 49ers in terms of solid running game, great weapons on offense, and a serviceable quarterback. That it's all predicated off the run game. But we're not doing that because we're asking too much of the quarterback. I don't know how you feel about that, though.
I don't know, man.
Y'all are just trying to find y'all's footing?
I don't know what Frank Reich's doing anymore.
So you think maybe what? Frank Reich might need to go sooner than you were ready to start saying?
I know he used to be a player, and he's probably like he comes off as a really nice dude. Deuce Staley is our assistant head coach. I ain't heard anything from him since preseason. He was the one in all the training camp videos getting in players' faces saying, "You got to be better than that." I would like more of that instead of this, guys. You did some good things. You just got it. We all have to get better together.
That's some straight Dan Quinn shit.
I'm like, Frank, shut the fuck up. We sat here and had to listen to Matt Rule say some stupid ass shit the last 3 years. It took Jay-Z 7 years. This ain't music. This is not the rap industry. This is football, bro.
Yeah, this whole we have to get better shit. You're talking. How are you getting better when you're talking?
Yeah, Captain Obvious. Of course, we got to get better.
Yeah. So what you're basically saying is they've been keeping Deuce Staley under wraps. They've been controlling his ass.
I don't know. I would just like to see more of him firing players up, though.
Let's see some of these comments.
We got sold that this was an all-star coaching staff, and they've led us to the worst start since 2010 so far. So
that was 1-15, right? 2-14, right?
Yep.
Blank has given his support to Ritter. He should stay silent. Well, listen, they sold Arthur Blank on it. So at the end of the day, he's been fooled, I think, like all of us. I don't think Arthur Blank isn't like Jerry Jones, isn't like Jim Irsay. He's not in the Falcons operations every day, breathing down their throats, which in a way is good, but also he's keeping taps on it. Rodney Grizzard says we need to bring in a new OC. Hey, I mean, listen, if you think there's someone better than Dave Racone, I think we need to bring in a quarterbacks coach. That's me. Because I think regardless, Arthur Smith, he ain't doing shit. He ain't going to give up shit. I think Arthur Smith is too damn stubborn, in my opinion, to take responsibility for his actions and give up coaching duties. He's basically like an egomaniac in that sense, but a lot of these guys aren't. The Falcons are one or two players away, maybe only a quarterback away. Perhaps because, man, everyone's talking about linebacker. Nate Landman did amazing yesterday. I mean, that dude is like a hammer. I would probably say I think we need to get these sack numbers up, but we can get pressure to the quarterback. But I still feel we lack that premier edge rusher. And I think as far as you can honestly maybe say, yeah, it's either Ritter needs to develop and show improvement, or maybe you need to go get a new quarterback. Because what's the goal for every team in the NFL, or at least should be? I'm looking for answers.
The only stat I care about is a win.
Winning. To me, it's win, and none of us have won the Super Bowl yet, but that's something everyone wants to do. You want to one day, and it ain't going to happen overnight, but you want this process to end in a Lombardi. And no, not this year, maybe not even next year at this rate, but you want this to look like it's heading in the right direction, and you want a quarterback that can – personally, I think Brock Purdy, with how they built that 49ers team, he is good enough to where he is going to keep San Francisco in games throughout the playoffs. And if they put him in the right situation and Kyle Shanahan doesn't do the stupid shit he's always done, be it with us or the 49ers, they can win a Super Bowl with that roster. I think if you set Ritter up and you have to make sure that he is progressing. But if he can progress the right way while also still being predicated off the run, okay, you could be heading in that direction. The fans are only going to be patient for so long. Look at the stats. Take care. All right, I'll see you. Listen, I mean, and you said this, the beds have been packed, I think, the most those first 2 weeks maybe they've ever been. I don't know if it's going to be packed this Sunday. I really don't.
I'm watching the highlights of your game against Jacksonville because I was asleep, obviously. I'm not waking up unless it's my team that early on a Sunday, but your offensive line in these highlights looks like ours has every week so far.
Yeah, no, the offensive line's an issue too, but we are a run-blocking offensive line, though, is the thing. We're not – the offensive line isn't being – now, listen, the center played like absolute ass yesterday. There's no denying it. But at the end of the day, you have to set your offensive line up in a good situation as well. Everything has to be set up in a good situation. And it can look like, oh, the training wheels are still on. But at the end of the day, you can't – if you want to win in the NFL, it has to be a team.
Horrible pick.
Oh, you're talking about the Ritter one?
In the second quarter?
Which one are you talking about? The pick six or the one after?
Yeah, the pick six. He forced that shit.
You can tell Drake wasn't done making his cut.
I don't even know what he was looking at when he let go of that.
And here's the interesting thing: he had Mac Hollins. Did you see the clip of Mac Hollins yelling right in his fucking face?
I saw it might have been the clip I saw. It looked like on the sideline, he like jumped up when he walked up to him or something.
Oh yeah, and Ritter jumped back like he was scared and shit.
I was like, I guess he's fed up with that shit, man.
And because he missed him. He missed him. He had Matt Collins. It was a first down.
Shout out to the former Tar Heels out here this year, though.
Who we talking about? Former Tar Heels. And shit, Arthur Smith is a former Tar Heel.
I'm pretty sure Matt Collins played for us last year.
Matt Collins, for you, Matt Collins has been in the league for years.
Or maybe I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I know Josh Downs and Indy did.
Oh yeah, I know Downs. No, Arthur Smith's alma mater is UNC, which is why they're trying to make this Drake May comparison. How good is Drake May?
Matt Collins did play for North Carolina. It just probably wasn't the past couple years. Yeah,
it was years ago because he's been in the league years. That's what I'm saying. Matt Collins he's been around a minute.
Probably when
I'm watching the beginning to Raw. Guess who they have out here?
Who?
They have the big fat beluga whale beating up on Shayna Baszler.
I don't even know why they brought that fat ass back, man.
Injuring the whole damn. She's about to injure her right here.
She like the Samoan female Big Show.
Like, why don't they just put her in the fucking bloodline? She can be the fucking enforcer. She is family.
Hell, she bigger than Jimmy.
She's bigger than Roman, I think. How much does she weigh? 275?
Yeah, but at least Roman's is muscle.
Oh yeah. Who is this?
And Roman actually played football. Shit.
Shout out former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket Roman Reigns, the tribal chief.
A lot of wrestlers used to be football players.
Why don't we use Scotty Miller to... Man, I'm thinking the exact same. Where the fuck has Scotty Miller been?
I was about to ask that too.
Scotty Miller ain't... Here's mommy. Have you seen Jade Cargill?
I heard she signed with them.
And did you see Edge just went over to the minors last night?
Yep. I kind of hate that.
Yeah, man, that sucks. That's the sign it's Ritter. London, Hollins, and Pitts have all shown aggravation toward Ritter. Yeah, and that's definitely because when Pitts and London, those are all guys that came in with Ritter. You don't want to see that. That they're saying, man, they don't believe in him. That's concerning. And now you have titties and asses flying all over the ring. And Rhea just killed a fucking security guard.
I would just love for us to win. Just win, man.
Yeah. No, I think that's what you want to do in this league. Win. Richie Grant, man, I'll say this. He missed that sack big time on Trevor Lawrence.
I said on Sunday, as soon as we lost the lead, I said it's over. And my girl was like, don't say that. You got to be positive. I was like, there's literally a stat going around that we're like 0-53 in the last 53 games where we trail.
Shout out shout out to the women, man, who they try to be the positive light.
I mean, yeah, I appreciate her trying to keep me positive, but I'm like, I know how this is going to go. I know my team too well.
Yeah, listen, and that's the thing with us, man. If we don't turn this thing around Sunday,
you guys play Houston?
yes. I think Maria just called out.
Well, Jesse Bates might be the first one to pick off both of the first and
CJ
second
Stroud
overall
ain't thrown an
picks.
interception yet.
That's what I'm saying. Bates might be the one to get a pick on the first 2 picks of the draft.
Yeah, that would. Shout out to Jet. Listen, he has been a game changer. You got to give. I mean, that, I think, no doubt has been the highlight signing so far this regime. She's about to get on to Dom. Damn. So where do you think you think there's a certain amount of wins you can put on Carolina to finish the season?
I don't know. I know that Frank Reich historically starts out really fucking slow and then gets hotter as the season goes on.
His first year as head coach started out like 1-5 and make the playoffs.
Yeah, he starts out slow historically and then gets hot, and I'm praying that happens. I'm not expecting us to make the playoffs. I would like to see us end the season with momentum for next season.
What'd you say?
I said I'm not expecting us to make the playoffs, but I would love to see us end the season with some positive momentum to carry over into next year.
Remember that? I remember that one year we started like 1-7, and we finished like 6-2, and there was hope like this could carry over into the following season, which was the COVID season, and then that just ended up being 28-3 in an entire season.
Yeah, I think the last time we started out with a losing record and turned it around was like 2013. We started 1-3 and finished 12-4.
Man, I'm trying to remember. Was there a time that the Falcons turned it around and made the playoffs?
And that was the first year we went to the playoffs with Cam.
Yeah, and Rivera and all of them. Keith Lee. Wasn't that
lost
final year?
Hmm?
Wasn't that Steve Smith's final year?
With the Panthers, yeah. We lost to the Niners in the playoffs that year.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't it in Charlotte?
Yeah, that's when Kaepernick was still with the Niners.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking we can get back on track. I definitely think we can still get. I mean, the division is still wide open. Us and the Saints and Tampa are still right in it, and I think it's 9-10 wins this division. Now, as far as the playoffs, who knows? But
the one loss that Tampa's got so far, Baker looked like Baker in that one.
Yeah, I mean, but they were facing that Philadelphia, which might be they're going on their bye this week, right?
Who?
Tampa Bay.
I just looked at all the bye weeks like a few days ago, and I can't remember to save my life.
I think their bye is this week, and then they come out. That'll be another tough one. We need some more pick sixes. Might be our best chance at scoring. That's probably true. Probably is our best chance. We can't pick off the quarterback. We can't score that way. Then
this Sunday is the first week of bye weeks, though. But you're right. Yeah, Seattle, Tampa, the Chargers and the Browns are off this Sunday.
Damn, we're already at the bye weeks.
Got 4 teams not playing this week.
Yeah, 14 games.
2 teams have a bye in week 6. There's a lot of us week 7. It's the Panthers, Bengals, Cowboys, Texans, Jets, and Titans in week 7.
I think we play each other in fantasy, not this upcoming week, but the week after. God damn it. Who'd you pick in this game coming up?
Hold up. Yeah, you're right. I got Seattle to beat the Giants, if that's what you're talking about.
Damn, so you're first.
But
I'm getting it back.
Yeah, I play Noah this week and you the week after.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to lose the ATL Will because it was getting really close there on Sunday Night Football.
Who he have?
He was playing the Chiefs defense, but then the Jets started scoring, and I was like, thank God. Because I started Jordan Love, and the week I cut Justin Fields, he decided to actually have a good game. I should have started Russell Wilson.
Let's see. What's Rhea going to say?
I should have picked a quarterback earlier than I did because I'm kind of... I know I'm not expecting much out of Jordan Love or Russell Wilson in fantasy. But I was not about to keep Justin Fields when he was barely putting up any numbers.
She's getting on Dom's ass. Here's the ironic thing. If y'all aren't wrestling fans, then ooh, she's getting on Priest's ass now.
Me and my girl are supposed to be going back to watch Raw when they come to South Carolina at the end of the month. We're going to the Texans and Panthers game.
Greenville?
Yeah.
Man, I wanted to go to that, but
we're going to the Texans and Panthers game that Sunday, and then the next day we're going down there to watch Raw.
You're only like, what, 2 hours from Greenville?
Yeah, I think it's a couple hours. I don't know. It's not too far. It's a little bit further away than Charlotte is for sure. Charlotte ain't that far away at all from where I'm at. Obviously, because I'm in the Charlotte area.
Greenville is basically halfway Atlanta to Charlotte. I stopped there when I was going to the game.
That arena is a whole lot smaller than Spectrum Center, too.
The End Market Arena, it's a nice arena, but yeah, it's definitely smaller than State Farm.
I mean, it was a pretty good show when we went. That was my first Raw.
Here's the ironic thing. I'm watching Rhea right now. She says there's no leader or Judgment Day. She damn sure is acting like a leader.
Yeah, that was the whole reason they kicked Edge out, man.
I wanted to go to... I really could have, but it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to. Do you always go? Because I that probably would be. I've been to a Savannah. I go to all the Atlanta shows. And
the one we went to last month was the first Raw I've ever been to.
Oh, really?
My dad took me to a house show when I was like 8 years old, when like Eddie Guerrero and everybody was still around.
Have you ever been to a SmackDown?
Nah.
So that was your second wrestling show.
WWE. Yeah, I've been to like some of the like local indie shit before. I quit watching that shit for years when I was like in high school because I just got sick of it being the same bullshit.
Falcons started 2-4 and 78, made the playoffs, lost first round. 91 playoffs. Yeah, we all know about it. She's about to get on Dom now.
Man, I think we're like 29 and 57 or 56 since David Tepper bought the Panthers.
I saw it.
Somebody was getting mad at me in this Carolina sports group yesterday, but I was like, bro, David Tepper is the problem. Our fucking owner doesn't know shit about football. He's a billionaire because he fucking is like a hedge fund person. Fucking David Tepper, man. He was a minority owner of the Steelers, and when he was with the Steelers, he wanted them to fire Mike Tomlin. That's how I know he don't know shit about football. If I'm the Steelers, I don't see any reason to fire Mike Tomlin. He's never had a losing season. You can't justify that shit.
So she just told Dom, if you don't win back your title, don't come home.
Oh, did he lose it?
Oh, yeah, he lost it. I really don't fucking like what they're doing with this bloodline shit. It's like they went backwards. You notice, like, Jimmy turns on Roman. Then he convinces Jay, after much hesitation, to turn on Roman. And then Jay pins Roman, and Jimmy celebrates with him at Money in the Bank. And then he calls Jay at SummerSlam. Jay's on Raw. Jimmy's trying to get back in the bloodline. It makes no sense, does it?
I think Roman's going to show back up and tell Jimmy, you're not getting back in, bro. You not seen the way like Solo and Paul been looking at Jimmy? They're like, why the fuck are you here, like, bro?
Jimmy's trying to act like he's the tribal chief.
Yeah, I think we might get a Jimmy and Roman match.
Oh shit, we got a Rankin Smith in there. We don't want to talk about that motherfucker. That's how I feel about Arthur Blank. Well, his decision making had a huge role in the 5 straight losing season, and why we're in the position we're in now. Yeah, man, it can be tough.
Some of these people have no business owning an NFL team, to be honest with you. The only reason they do is because they're rich.
Yeah. Or you can be like Jerry Jones and get all the fucking attention you want.
That's been my biggest fear since Tepper bought the team. Is he going to be fucking Jerry Jones 2.0?
The one thing about Arthur Blank, he does a lot of charity work.
Hey, at least the Cowboys can win a fucking game right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think realistically, they fucked up not giving Cody that title at Mania, but they did it so Roman could do the 1,000-day thing.
They're talking about possibly doing The Rock versus Roman at Mania now that Endeavor fucking owns them.
And that Hollywood.
And if that happens, you know damn well he's not going to lose it this year coming up either. That's ridiculous, man. That's way too long at this point.
I mean, I listen. I love the tribal chief gimmick. I mean, it literally got me back into it because Roman as a face
was horrible.
Exactly. They weren't booking him right. He should have turned heel after he beat Taker because the he had was. But at the end of the day, it all works out for a reason. But this thing has ran its course. It's time Cody win that title.
Everybody thought John Cena was bad. Roman can't fucking lose 90%, 99% of the time.
Well,
Man.
here's the thing. At least they turned Roman heel. They never turned Cena heel.
But I didn't give a shit about Roman until he did turn heel. He was a fucking horrible character before that.
Yeah. No, he cut a promo.
He was cringy as fuck as a face.
And I don't get what they're doing with Judgment Day. I mean, it's like this is a bootleg bloodline with Rhea acting like Roman Reigns, and the rest of them are just her slaves.
They've been teasing they're gonna break up for weeks, man.
Months. And they're fine. They're literally doing it right now.
Like, if you're gonna do it, just fucking do it.
And who's this fucking McDonough guy even?
Oh, little ass boy.
That Cody called a fucking Funko Pop. I'm watching this thing. Giants moving. You know, the Falcons haven't technically yesterday morning counted as an ESPN game, which we hadn't had in the prior 3 years. Even though it was ESPN Plus.
Wow.
I'll tell you who's probably my favorite wrestler right now that I think should probably beat Seth. I think Gunther should probably. I think he probably will, and I think he definitely should beat Seth.
That main event they had with Gunther and Gable and Charlotte was fire.
Oh yeah. Nah, man, Gunther's the truth. I love how they present him. And I want to see. Hey, whether it's Gunther or LA Knight, I'm fine with either one.
One of those two are winning the Rumble for sure.
Oh, definitely. And Cody probably wins the Chamber. They might even just make him and Roman without any of it.
And they're milking the fuck out of this. The locker room still doesn't trust Jay. Shit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, bro, he turned on Roman like at the beginning of the fucking year. Like when he walked out of the ring at Royal Rumble.
What the? So, guess what they just did?
What?
They just made Judgment Day versus Cody and Jay for the tag titles on Saturday. What type of sense does that make?
They're not
literally Cody and a former Bloodline member going for the tag team titles when Cody's supposed to be on the track of going for Roman's title. I'll ask you this. I'm sure singing Cody's theme, I'm sure it's one of the best feelings at a wrestling show.
Oh, they were loud as hell in Charlotte, man.
Because I think Cody, doesn't he live in Charlotte? Or no, he lives in Atlanta, I think. But
yeah, he told us at the end of the show that night he was born in Charlotte.
And he was raised in Marietta, Georgia.
Yeah, he grew up in Georgia and was born in Charlotte. You want to talk about a weird-ass connection?
I-85, baby.
That's why Cody can't win the championship. It's what I call the I-85 curse. Same thing the Panthers and Falcons are dealing with, buddy.
Yeah. Who else is on I-85?
A bunch of towns nobody cares about in South Carolina. I don't know how far. I don't know how far up 85 goes.
Let me look it up. Because I know 95 stretches all the way down.
Yeah, there's parts of the interstates where they become different interstates.
It goes from Virginia to Montgomery.
85.
Yeah, I'm looking it
Dang.
up right now. And the only two
That's
major
crazy
cities.
though, because you never hear anybody talk about 85 other than like Charlotte and Atlanta people.
Yeah. Crazy. See, did the Giants get that first down?
Because I've said it on the internet before, and people go, "What is that?" And I'm like, "A fucking interstate? What do you mean?"
They don't
It's a
understand.
U.S. Interstate 85.
Yeah. No, they don't. That ball short. They tried to do
Thank you.
QB sneak. Yeah, Seattle was going to get the ball. Were they trying to do that tush push there?
Everybody's gonna do that until they ban it, probably.
Oh, nah. Listen, man. Philadelphia can only make that work really because of, I guess you can say now, what are we supposed to refer to him as? Taylor Swift's boyfriend's brother?
I was just gonna say Jason Kelsey, but it go off. Did you see that meme that said the only Swift Kelsey combination I care about, and it's Jason Kelsey and DeAndre Swift?
Yes, sir.
I was
That's
like,
the only one that's
facts.
working. That's the only one working. Swift has been a beast for Philadelphia this year.
I guess that worked out for the Eagles and the Lions.
Yeah, they got, which the Lions aren't really using Jahmyr Gibbs much, but
Jared Goff is playing probably some of the best ball of his career now.
They're setting him up. How many times have I talked about on this stream, bro? You have to set your quarterback up well. That's what they're doing in Detroit.
It helps that they got playmakers like Amon-Ra St. Brown and all that.
Yeah, but Detroit, they really predicate a lot of what they do off the run. That's really what they do. So they're a physical football team. Physical football teams run the football.
Detroit is going to play us hard this Sunday because when we played them last year, we set a franchise record for rushing yards on them.
Oh yeah, they're winning that game.
They're going to play angry against us probably.
Speaking of that, are you maybe thinking they made the wrong decision not keeping Wilkes?
I think Wilkes would have had this team more fired up than Reich has them so far. It just, like, when you see the interviews in the locker room I've seen from, like, Miles Sanders and Brian Burns, it seems like they've all just fucking given up all hope already.
I'm really concerned our guys are going to give up. Shit don't change Sunday. And our guys are young guys. Those are the guys you need to stay confident and fired up.
I did like seeing Bryce on the sideline Sunday talking to the entire offense.
That's being
that was
a
good
leader.
To see.
Something Desmond Ritter wasn't on Sunday. Which Bryce has the C, right?
I think so.
Ritter doesn't have the C, but still, you're the quarterback.
I could be wrong, though. Like I said, man, my memory since that concussion is
I think he does have the C.
I think he does. But my problem here is with colleges. Stop putting out all these shitty-ass offensive linemen into the league, man.
Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, offensive linemen, that you really want to honestly talk about to find a great offensive lineman? Oh, damn, that's going to help me. How long was that?
What?
Kenneth, well, that's big for my fantasy because
K9 going off again?
I'm going to need Kenneth Walker. Oh, 73 yards. Oh, hell yeah. I'm Kenneth Walker to have the game of his life.
K9 is going off again. That's what the NFL called him on their YouTube page when they beat us.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Did they get him down? Damn, that ain't going to stand. Shit. You think they're gonna really have a Gable take that title off Gunther so that he can go for Seth?
I don't know.
I think that might be their best bet. Man, I'll tell you what. I know it was really. I don't think there was much men initially going into it, but Nakamura and Rollins has been a fire feud.
How long has Seth had that championship now?
Since May. Like, he's had it, like, what, 120, 130 days? Personally,
What point do you end the reign?
I think he should have lost it to Balor at SummerSlam.
I know that they want to build the prestige back up in the world title, but we already have one champion that never fucking even defends his shit, bro.
Well, to be fair, Seth defends it a lot. He's just winning. I think they're going to... Well, let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to put that title on Gunther at Mania, and I guarantee you he's holding it at least a year.
Yeah, Triple H likes those long-ass title reigns.
He wants to rewrite history. Yeah. And then I don't know what the hell they're doing really over on SmackDown besides with all the blood. I mean, you can literally tell that's all they care about on SmackDown is the bloodline.
And the whole LWO
Bobby Lashley. I like the Profits and Lashley. I like that because those are guys that those are guys that I can buy into. I don't know. Are they going to have Lashley take the title from Ray?
I was surprised to see Ray win it because he's like 48, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, Edge is
Ray was one of my favorites as a kid. I remember watching him win the world title at Mania 22.
Do you remember watching that shit with him and Eddie fighting over that kid?
Oh, yeah. I used to watch SmackDown religiously back then when they had the custody for Dominic ladder match? They was wild in the mid-2000s, man.
Yeah, every kid needs a good father figure.
That's just how good Eddie Guerrero was, though. You could love him one minute and hate his guts the next.
Yeah, man, I never got to see him live.
I'm just glad I got to see him at that house show as a kid. And I got to see the main event of that house show was Kurt Angle and The Undertaker, too.
Yeah.
And John Cena before he won his first championship.
Before they started shoving him down everyone's throat.
Yeah.
Fuck, what the hell's going on with Jamal Adams? Is his ass hurt again?
I think it was when JBL was champion, though. Because this one kid in the crowd said, "Go JBL." And I was like 8. I looked at him and I said, JBL sucks.
Fuck JBL. That rude cowboy.
I mean, who didn't like John Cena back then? You had like the uppity, rich fucking dude in JBL, and you had the dude who was fucking rapped and wore sports jerseys out to the ring.
Yeah. I mean, they're fucking, I think a lot of people have come to appreciate Cena as he's really gotten older and his time has gone on, but the thing is, man, he just overshadows too much talent.
Well, he usually loses when he shows up anyway now.
That is true, but man, it's still, they give him too much damn TV time. You can tell, another thing, you can tell Cody and Bray were supposed to be feuding right now because They have no. They literally have him and Jay going for Judgment Day in the tag titles. It was supposed to be him and Bray, man. Rest in peace to Wyndham Rotunda.
I feel bad for his kids and his wife.
Yeah. No, it's a big loss for everyone. It caught everyone off guard.
That was a rough time period too, because it was I think it started with Bray, and then it was Camel Toes and Beast of the East, and I was like, dang man, chill with the deaths, right? They do say that death comes in threes like that.
Oh yeah, it's like it was Camel, then Bray, then I think Bray and Beast died on the same day.
Yeah, they were all really close, like within this. It was the same week at least.
I can only imagine what Camel will be saying. Man, we fucking suck right now. I can only imagine.
I can hear him now. This is why I'm a music champ.
Losing to the Falcons. Losing to the Aints. Losing to the Seahawks. Losing to fucking Kirk Cousins. That shit is.
Yeah, I wonder what he would have thought about Bryce so far.
Probably say he's trash. He probably gave him. Didn't he despise Cam?
At a certain point, yeah, because he used to call me the biggest Cam homer of all time. Which, I mean, I still have my Cam Newton poster up in this bitch, so Cam was my dude. I wanted, when we were fucking horrible in 2010, I was watching college ball, and I was like, everybody was talking about Andrew Luck, but he might go back to college. I was like, nope, Cam Newton, even if Andrew Luck comes up.
Luck is another one. He had to retire because of those injuries.
The NFL's a rough league.
Oh, that fucked up Indianapolis.
The NFL is a very tough league, man.
Exactly. You never know when you're. And here's another thing, too. Even Julio. You realize Julio never played at 100% of what he could have been. He got injured at Alabama, that foot injury. And then it just, I mean, I think he re-aggravated it.
That was part of what. That was just another layer to the Panthers and Falcons games at the time that made it even better, because it was a continuation of Julio and Cam battling each other from college.
Oh, yeah. They came out same draft class. I just remember that.
Yeah, they played against each other at
they pretty
Bama
much
and Auburn.
1 year apart from each other.
Yeah, I think we cut Cam at, the end of the 2019 season?
And we traded Julio during the 2021 off season.
And then we brought him back just for Matt Rule to throw him under the fucking bus.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. That Julio shit and what happened with Wrigley, that really fucked up Pitts, because he was supposed to come in as like our third weapon and just learn under Julio Jones and Calvin Wrigley. And week 8, we were literally asking him to be the offense. Now we finally got help, and I think he's 100%. And I also think he doesn't want to really be here at this moment. I hope I'm wrong. Why the fuck do we have to keep watching Daniel Jones in primetime is my question.
Fuck Duke. I think they lost to Notre Dame this week.
Oh, really? I think Colorado, I'll say this about Colorado. I think it's really going to be next year and the year after when they get some guys on defense coming in.
They got humbled.
Well, they fought back against USC. But you have to say, man, Colorado, in my opinion, I think because they're saying Shedeur might go back because Deion and Shedeur, they don't want him being like the number 3 or number 4 quarterback taken in the draft. They want him being number 1. So he might go back.
Here's a question for like the Bears. If they get the first pick again, you have to give up on Justin Fields, right?
I don't want to see Caleb Williams get run, bro.
I don't want to see Caleb Williams go to a team in this division.
Well, I don't think Caleb Williams will. At least I don't think. I don't know.
They
There's some
probably
people-
wouldn't though, unless it was y'all, because I think the Bucks are happy with Baker, and the Saints paid Derek Carr too much money.
Yeah, we're the only ones that I think. There are some people though talking about like do what the Panthers did and give up Kyle Pitts and 2 first-round picks and go get Caleb Williams. I'm like, dude, are you really?
Yeah, but you see how that's working out for us.
The thing is, man, Bryce is.
We look worse than we did with Matt Rule, and I can't believe I would ever fucking say that shit.
I think it's different with y'all, and I'm not saying I want to go out and do that. I don't. I personally asking me, I think at this moment, I don't even know what we're going to do. I'm just focused on how the hell is Ritter going to do Sunday. I'm not focused on 2024 and who our quarterback is.
I just want to see Bryce play a little better every week, show some improvement. It's hard when the offensive line is getting bullied off the snap every fucking week, and Icky's just having a horrible sophomore slump right now.
The thing that I really look at though, CJ Stroud is obviously. I think the CJ Stroud, would you say, is probably the first quarterback since Justin Herbert who's just came in as a rookie and lighted it up?
I don't know. He's the first rookie to do what he's doing, period. So.
Well, I mean, period, just lighting it up since Herbert, I definitely think is the case.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people were quick to give up on Trevor Lawrence his rookie year, but I mean, Urban Meyer was his coach at the time.
Yeah, that was obviously they say there's no asterisks or excuses, but if anyone deserved one, it was him. And now look at him. I still think Jacksonville has to grow as a team, but I think if they can put it together, I think. See, this is what I was saying. Jacksonville, they can be an all right team, but they're not this. They don't play a physical brand of football to where they can just dominate teams. I did say we were going to start 2-2, but what's pissing me off is how we've lost these last 2 games.
We shouldn't have lost to the Vikings. We had the game.
You could have really won versus Seattle, too.
I'm not worried about the defense against the Lions. I'm worried about the offense every fucking week. Because as soon as we don't have the lead, I'm like, yeah, this offense is too fucking inconsistent to get us the lead back. I just don't see it. That's not being negative. That's fucking just watching the game. You can tell. They're not built for that shit right now.
Oh, yeah.
The defense gets you the lead. You have to fucking stay on it, man. Protect the fucking ball. I mean, Bryce didn't throw any interceptions, but you have to hold on to the ball. You just have to.
Holy shit.
Jamal Adams has a concussion.
Man, and he just returned, didn't he? See, I saw his ass go into the locker room. I knew. You know,
Bleacher Report just said he's got a concussion.
Chelsea Green dyed her fucking hair brown.
The way the ring announcer says her name kills me, bro.
Yeah, that shit is.
She says it like a stuck-up preppy bitch. I'm probably about to get off here and go make some dinner, man.
Yeah, I'm probably getting ready. I've been on here way too longer than I anticipated.
Yeah,
I was
sometimes it's hard to get on here and talk about your team when you suck, or you're losing. But hey,
it's a division rival, so I guess that's the thing, that we hate each other, but we also end up talking about our teams the most with each other. And this was
yeah,
in front
I think I talked to Saints, Bucks, and Falcons fans more than Panthers fans lately, just because Panthers fans are being whiny bitches on social media, and it just makes me
Yeah,
it
man.
just makes me mad, man.
I try to listen to both sides of the conversation, try to understand. This was really impromptu. I wasn't planning on doing this or this lasting very long, but hey, I dropped that link and it's still in there, so.
All right, man.
All right, I'll see you, man. Take care.
Take care, bro. Peace.
Peace. Yeah. So shout out to CPG, man. Coming in, holding it down with me. That link is still there. We want to talk about this whole Arthur Smith thing, Desmond Ridder. Get back to the topic at hand. This really just kind of just went off topic, but hey, that's how these streams go, man. But as I said, Desmond Ridder, my leash with him is until the bye. Because I think when looking at it, okay, you're at home these next 2 weeks. Then you go to Tampa and Tennessee. Then you come back versus Minnesota and then you go to Arizona. Then you have your bye week. So I do not think as lightly of Desmond Ridder as I did even a week ago. Yes, I think it's time we talk about, is there another option? I want to see Ridder succeed, and I'm still saying that he is our quarterback. I'm not saying I'm fully 100% anymore riding with Desmond Ridder. At least at the moment, I want to. I want to ride with Desmond Ridder. I want the guy to get right. I need someone to go in there and get right with this young man. I need it. Arthur Smith, stop being stubborn. Get a quarterback's coach in there. That might be the big issue. You don't have a quarterback's coach in there working with him. A quarterback needs that. But man, I'm telling y'all straight up, next week is important. Very important. You don't win next week, then I fear for this locker room. And more importantly, us fans will have a lot more questions, and they're going to be more serious. Because, see, this week, we want this thing to be fixed. We do. But at the end of the day, you have to. This is a team that is still in a wide open division that can make the playoffs. And you have to do what you have to do. Would I be totally opposed to starting Heineke at some point? If Desmond Ridder continues to show no progress and maybe even you can say get worse, yeah, we might have to seriously just have that conversation in general. It's something I don't want to have. And I really hope this is the farthest we get to talking about benching Desmond Ridder and, more importantly, firing Arthur Smith for a long time. But, man, we have to keep our eyes open. The excuses are done. We gave slack to Arthur Smith his first 2 years. We gave slack to Desmond Ridder last year. We gave him the opportunity. Okay, let's see what he can be. In the first 2 games, he did well. He did what was asked of him in that game against Carolina. He bounced back for Green Bay. You could tell he was comfortable in the bends. He led the comeback. And we were very happy with him. And well, at least me. But these last 2 weeks versus Detroit, it hasn't looked the best. And yesterday, it looked awful. So, you have to get better. Or else we're going to have to look at going somewhere else. And I don't want to. I want to believe in Desmond Ridder. because he is our guy still. And I want to see this team succeed. But as I'm going to continue to say, we need to stop sugarcoating and making excuses and cutting slack. It's time we ask the hard-hitting questions to everyone. Everyone is being examined. Everyone is on audit this Sunday. Everyone. There is going to be an evaluation period this Sunday. And we're going to be evaluating Desmond Ridder, evaluate Arthur Smith, evaluate everything, especially that offense. A close eye on that offense. Mr. Pitts, eyes are on you too. But most of all, we need to win. If we win on Sunday, then I want to come on here this time next week and talk about something positive. I want to. And talk about, okay, where can we go now? I want to talk about we got to win versus Houston. It'll probably be a close game. I would love to kill them, but it'll probably be a close game. But we need to have the conversation. Okay, how are we going to continue to move on if we continue seeing this? However, this Sunday is an opportunity to change. It is a new week now. It is time to look forward to the Houston Texans and what they are as an opponent. And they can be a tough opponent for us. Make no mistake about it. But at the end of the day, what we need to do as Falcons fans, we have to be real with ourselves, but we don't have to lose that eye of support. We always need to support this team. The real fans are going to be in that bench. The real fans are going to be out there. We're going to give our criticisms of the team, but because we want the team to do well. But it has to get better. That's what I'm going to continue to say. That link is right there. We've been on for 2 hours. I appreciate everyone who's came through. Clay Melton, Daily Talon, Jerry came through, BR, CPG, holding it down on panel. So if no one else is going to come on, I'm definitely going to go ahead and wrap this up here in a minute. So with that being said, y'all have a great night. Tomorrow, week 5 picks. Wednesday, little preview prediction for the game against Houston. We're going to try to maybe try to look at some of the bright sides, but still, until Sunday, even though, yes, we're going to try to shift into more of a positive, okay, can we beat Houston? How can we beat Houston? Yes, we can definitely beat Houston. Will we, though? I don't know. We haven't played Sunday yet. Can we beat Houston? We definitely can. I think so. But we have to come out and we have to produce, especially with this offense. We're going to talk about that Wednesday. And you might see maybe something a little later in the week. Stephen Rose, if you're watching, I'm definitely going to want to get with you. Shout out to Spider. He came through. He's a Texans fan. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys in the next one.